You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walk in His ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Ferman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's go!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Walking This Ways Impact Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Ferman Jackson Jr. I'm broadcasting live once again from my new home, my new location of Arlington, Texas, outside Dallas and Fort Worth. Big shouts out to DFW. Big shouts out to the surrounding areas, Mississippi, my home state of Alabama, all over the place. We want to thank y'all, man, for tuning in once again to be a part of tonight's podcast. Very excited tonight as we have a well-renowned book author with us tonight, talking about his book, talking about the experiences that he grew up in the era that he grew up in when it came to dealing with the streets. And I hope that what we said tonight will challenge you, will kind of get you thinking about some things to, make some necessary changes in your life. And that's what we hear about here on tonight's podcast. Also, I got Kenny Primetime Williams with us once again. I know he could let us know what's going on with the latest news and updates when it comes to the NFL, NBA. We know the NBA season is kicking off, I think, tonight. Of course, I'm not for sure, but I think the NBA season is going to be kicking off. So, Kenny, take it away with the latest news in the sports world.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, no, you cannot see me just yet. But when you do, you will be very glad you did. Because I want everybody to turn on the lights. All the lights. Because you got to see this here. You got to see this. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now in the prime zone. I'm your host, Kenny Primetime Williams. And we finna get this show kicked off. We got a special guest tonight. We got a great guest tonight. I'm finna let you know some sport things. This past week in the NFL, ridiculous, crazy games. Shots out. Let me start off by saying shots out to Mobile, Alabama, the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Dallas, Texas, Greenville, Mississippi. Everybody listening on the sound of my voice, thank you and welcome to the Prime Zone. Let's get right into it. I ain't gonna waste none of your time, but let's get right into it. I'm gonna start off by last night's game, Monday night game between the Titans and the Buffalo Bills. What a game to the final finish. Both teams fought hard, very hard. Titans come out on top of the Bills. I actually was rooting for the Titans because, hey, I only believe in one team, and I'm gonna let you know that team out the way. If you don't know by now, matter of fact, let the audience see. Oh, do you see it?
Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give special shots out to my team, the Dallas Cowboys. What a finish in New England did they do? Had me on the edge of my seat. And I mean seats, I was sitting in about 3-4 seats, back and forth out the house. So great game. Dak to C.D. Lamb. Let's everybody say it at home, C.D. Lamb. He is a great asset to our team, man. We came with a last-minute victory in overtime to beat the New England Patriots first time in Bill Belichick's career that Dak has not only beat him, but put up high-priced numbers. Not only, speaking of Dak did suffer an injury on that game on the very last play to CeeDee Lamb with a calf strain, but that's our quarterback. He's going to be just fine. He said it on TV, and I truly believe him. He's going to be just fine. But let's move on. A lot of teams played well this week. Green Bay popping off against the Bears. We got Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. They lost in a last-minute fumble against the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of great games around the league. If you pay attention on Sundays, man, this past Sunday, every game basically was really a good game, except the Baltimore Ravens and the Los Angeles Chargers. It was terrible. Lamar Jackson is playing lights out ball. He is doing great this year. He's on his way to having a great year. And so I wish them well, the teams well. A lot of things has transpired. Washington football team their head coach, they fired their head coach because he refused to get vaccinated. I will tell you once and I'll tell you again, if you don't believe in the vaccine, that's your personal issue. But if you by chance believe in saving your life and saving other lives, please go get vaccinated. Not only that, Urban Meyer get his first NFL win in London against the Miami Dolphins. What a great walk-off victory with a last-second field goal to bring him his first win in the NFL throughout all the drama that he's been going through this past couple of weeks about video surfing of him and a young woman inside his restaurant. And family members have stuck by Urban Meyer. The team has stuck by him. The city has stuck by him. So congratulations to the Jacksonville Jaguars on their first win of the year, and continue to look for more better ones. Now let's move on to the NBA. Ben Simmons was kicked out of practice on this past Tuesday by head coach Doc Rivers because Ben Simmons just really doesn't want to be in Philadelphia. I don't know what the case may be, but he was kicked out of practice, and he said he didn't, according to reports, that he did not want to do a particular drill that the head coach has said. Now, everybody's listening on the sound of my voice. If you played an organized sport and you have a head coach, better yet, any coach over you, you have to do what that coach says in order to be on the team, in order to excel as a player. So I will send a message out to Ben Simmons. If he's watching, hey, get your act together, son. Tonight does start the NBA season, and I want everybody to get hyped. My Lakers are on deck tonight against the Warriors. When this podcast is over, I'm gluing my eyes to the television to see my little boy LeBron, Melo, Westbrook, Rondo, and the list goes on. But the defending champions Milwaukee Bucks will be facing off tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets will be without point guard Kyrie Irving. I don't know the situation about him thus far, but he has still not been vaccinated, doesn't plan on being vaccinated very soon. And so what we're going to do is just continue on the season with the Brooklyn Nets, and hopefully that he gets his act together and report to practice and do the right thing he needs to do in order to get back on the team. Now, let's forward to the women's side. The Chicago Sky has won the WNBA championship. Congratulations to them. I actually saw that entire game, and it was a very emotional game. Candace Parker is to be dealt with. I give this lady much props. I've seen a lot of women play basketball in my day. I've coached women, I've coached young ladies, but I've never seen a female that can come down the court and just do the things that she does. And she led her team to a victory and their first ever WNBA championship. Former Laker Cooper he's the head coach of the team. He was named the MVP, and that was first as a coach to be named MVP in the NBA Finals, WNBA Finals. I'm sorry. Now moving along, I know everybody still talks about the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight. After the fight, a week after the fight, I don't know how this get out, but a week after the fight, reporters report that Deontay Wilder suffered a broken hand during the fight. Yeah, please. This man beat you till he broke your hand. It wasn't nothing that you did because there was a severe beatdown. So there are reports saying, but still on the sportsmanship side, I would want to say speedy recovery to Deontay Wilder. I hope he's healing up pretty well, and I hope he gets the proper treatment that he needs to get his hand back together. Ladies and gentlemen, the baseball season, the championship, the ACLS and the NCLS is in session. And I'm telling you, the Atlanta Braves against the LA Dodgers, they are rocking. The Braves are up 2-0. The Astros are playing against the Boston Red Sox. And so the winner of both of those series will go on in the World Series. I'm rooting for the Houston Astros. It would be great to see both teams from the South playing in the World Series. And I look forward to that. The LA Dodgers have been very great in the past couple of years. And the Boston Red Sox has been there as well. So it will be very wonderful to see a South team, both South teams, Atlanta and Houston, in the World Series. So big kudos to them and congratulations. Good luck. Continue fighting, and we hope to see you at the end. Now, before I leave you, I do have a final word. And my final word is the smile on your face doesn't mean the life is perfect. It means that despite of your challenges, if you choose to focus on your blessing. Remember that. I want to put you in context because the actual content said I, but I want everybody to say you. Focus on your blessing. Focus on your blessing and not what the world has done to you, what anybody else done to you. Focus on what God has done to you and be real with yourself. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kenny Primetime Williams. I'm out of here. God loves you. Jesus loves you. And there's nothing you can do about it. I appreciate you tuning in. This is the Prime Zone, signing out. Back to you, Ferman.
Appreciate it, Kenny, with the latest sports news and updates that's taking place. And also, man, with the Ben Simmons thing, he was upset about some comments that the head coach made, Doc Rivers, and Joe Embiid made some comments after they lost the playoffs last year. And I'll be feeling some type of way too. You know what I'm saying? Then you come around and like everything ain't cool. Because you say something about me and then you expect me to go along with you, I'll be feeling some type of way also. And also with Wilder, you lost. Everybody take L's. Stop making excuses. Pretty much. Because every time this guy loses, he always got to blame something that happened.
Last time it was his suit was too heavy for him.
Yeah, come on, man. Just we all take L's in life. You lost, man. I'm saying, hey, I lost. Let me go back to the drawing board. Let me see what I can critique so I won't lose again. Pretty much as we all take L's in life, man. Just suck it up, be a man about it. But I'm excited about tonight's podcast, man. I'm very excited. And we have a well-renowned book author that's joining us tonight, Mr. Stevens, representing Brooklyn, right? Am I right, correct? Y'all outside of Brooklyn, New York?
I'm
from Brooklyn,
but I'm in Virginia right now.
Okay, big shouts out to Brooklyn. We know Jay-Z is from Brooklyn, Marcy Projects, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited. I do have your book, of course, and I did purchase it because I've been reading and everything. Very exciting read. And I just want to share something. I'm going to read the back of it. And it's very interesting, very dark. Mr. Shabazz, I must insist that you accompany me to an undisclosed location where you'll be put to death. If you'll cooperate, then you'll be allowed to a proper burial, and no harm will come to your family. This is the honorable choice. Then Shabazz asks, and what if I don't? Then your death will be a dishonorable one. We will kill you and all of your family and will do our best to erase every witness to your existence. You have 60 seconds to decide. The boy ran back to the hearse. Wow.
That's deep.
That's deep. But that's a consequence. There's a consequence to every action. Every action. You gotta, like, when you read the book, well, I know you said you're reading the book. I don't know if you got to the part yet, but there's a reason why that happened. I mean, it's consequences. It was something that, did you want me to respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it was something that I mentioned like previously. These days, a lot of times people don't even have any idea what consequences pertain to their actions, so they just do anything. I mean, it's like it's like an even board to everyone. I mean, you can do good, you can do bad, and you still get the same response. So they feel like everything should be accepted, no matter what. It's like it's a gray area. Everything is a gray area with everyone these days. Like I should be able to do whatever I want to and not be judged. This is the third place trophy generation to me. I mean, not saying that people shouldn't get for their accomplishments shouldn't be like rewarded for their accomplishments and everything. When you try hard, whether you win or lose, I mean, it's a blessing because there's always a lesson in everything. All right, don't get me wrong. But when you do bad, I don't think bad behavior should be rewarded. You know what I mean? I don't think bad behavior should be rewarded. All right. And this is the era that I grew up in. When you done bad things, you got handled, you got dealt with. It was a slogan that like when I was coming up, like one of the main slogans in my streets were violators get violated. You know what I mean? Violators get violated. I mean, nowadays, things are just like, well, it's a better way to deal with everything. I mean, not saying that I agree with stuff like the death penalty and all of that. Not saying I disagree either. I'm not going to express my opinion on that. That's politics. But what I'm saying is that I think every consequence should hold the same weight as the deed or the action that it took, that triggered that. You know what I mean? Because it's a cause and effect to everything. All right. So when you read my story, all right, I want people to keep an open mind and try to understand that this is somebody just trying to put things in, just trying to show you the perspective of the way that I grew up from my values and my principles. All right. Not saying that I go around like a vigilante killing everybody who act up. No, I don't even do that. I'm not a killer. All I'm doing is telling a story. That's it. It's a story. All right. So like, okay, like if okay, how like this is like one of the reasons why my series called Natural G came about in the first place. I mean, well, if you want to know that, I'll break it down to you. It's simple. Like, well, unfortunately, I had done a little time. All right, and while being detained, I've read a lot of books, like urban books, thrillers, love stories, you name it. Probably 200 or 300 books. All right. I was particularly fond of the urban fiction genre because it's the environment that I came up in, so it related to me the most. So as I read these books, I started noticing how unauthentic they seemed to be to me. It was like some of the authors couldn't possibly have experienced some of these things firsthand. So I decided that like I probably can do a better job painting this picture for the people because I literally myself been exposed to some of these type of things. So I just say, okay, first let me also say that the term G in this case is not a name, it's a title. G. A G is actually short for gangster. Not saying that I know a lot of people run around saying gangster, they gangsters. I mean, like me, I don't call myself a gangster, but like coming up in certain struggles, we all had to do gangster things to survive. I mean, that's just life. Now I'm almost 50 years old, not proud of some of the things I did, but I'm proud of all the lessons that I learned. I'm proud to say that I could take a young person and be like, look, what you're doing is very stupid. You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe it's a better way to do these things without taking a penitentiary chance. You know what I mean? Because they really not playing with you. They locking us up for real. All right. If they can't kill us first, they're gonna lock us up, and that's like death, especially for people who are not who are uneducated and uncultured. These kids run around with no discipline. They don't know what to do with their time, so they go in there and if not get more time, come out worse than they did, and wind up going back getting more time. So I like I don't knock people's lifestyle, that they chose. I still think people need to identify, understand what other people. Like for example, those who, like myself, who came up in a particular circumstances that led them to make certain choices, whether good or bad. I mean, it's like almost insulting when people who are born in like more fortunate situations choose this struggle. In effect, um, could have had an easier life, but they more than likely in many cases it don't work out too well for them. So basically what I could say, like I said before, the whole series is a story about consequences, more consequences than rewards. This is like not I'm not praising crime, all right? I'm basically trying to let you know the results of bad behavior. You know what I mean? That in a nutshell, that's what brought this book about.
And that's what's up. And there's some very detailed information in the book of the struggle, the lifestyle, like I said, the choices that these people have made in their life, not coming out. You having this individual telling you, come with me to kill you. I mean, that's scary. That a person would actually tell you, come with me, you about to die. And this stuff goes on every day. And I know media, the younger generation, they glorify that, like growing up in the projects. If you look on the music videos, they got the cars, the women, thinking that living in the projects, living in the hood is the most beautiful thing ever. But if you go to these areas, it's strictly poverty, high crime, drugs, you name it. All this stuff that goes on in our community, and we glorify it. You know what I'm saying? But with you, what you coming out with your book to show that hey, there is consequences to the acts that we make. And like you said earlier, before we got on the air, life is about choices. So as this book came about, at that time, what was your mindset at that time when putting this book together for the readers to get an understanding, to be enlightened on what was going on at that time?
Okay, at the time when I was writing the book, I got to be honest. I was, like I said, unfortunately, I was locked up. I was locked up at the time for some past crimes that I did. And like I'm in the South, Virginia, they want their time. You're not pass and go until you come do this time that you're over Virginia. You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing it. So I wanted to live my life comfortably. Me and my significant other. So we decided together that maybe I should just go ahead and give them what they want. All right. And it's in the past now. I'm putting the pieces back together. But back to why what was going through my mind while I was writing the book. I just wanted, I don't know. I think maybe I was showing off a little bit. I think I was, because I'm like, it's like I run through the books. I would sit there and read a book in like, I don't know, an hour, and it's gone. You know what I mean? And I'm just, give me another one, give me another one, give me another one. She just send them in. I do have some favorite authors, and some of them, are really talented. Like Ashley Antoinette, her husband Jaquavis, and I'm very fond of James Patterson. You know, the whole Alex Cross stuff.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
I'm
yeah.
very fond of that. I have a large array of different genres that I do read, but the urban genre, that's my pet peeve. All right, because when I read this stuff, and I be like, it's not possible that can happen. You can't. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that due to the trials and tribulations that I experienced. You know what I mean? It's not believable. All right. So I said, you know what? Let me whip this up real quick. You know what I mean? Wrote a rough draft. Have my celly read it. Looked at me like I was talented or whatever. And I was like, I didn't believe it. But, he said it. So I just said, he gassed me up. It's in my head now. All right, so let me fix this up. Bam, book one. Everybody loved it. CEO's trying to steal my book and everything. All right, book
Wow.
two. Book two is even, if people like book one, it's not, everything is not for everyone. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
But
right.
if people do like book one, then you're gonna love book two. Then book three, four, five, the characters, you start to love them and they just go on and on and on. But my mindset at that time was like, I can do better than what I'm reading. All right. And a lot of people agree with me. Some people like a person, like you could be sitting there, right? And I think that you have a wonderful platform. All right. And I think you're very well spoken. Yeah, the sports, everything is the communication that we had, and it's like man, this guy seemed like, and I watch your stuff too. I was like, yeah, this guy, it seemed like you have a future in this. You know what I mean? But then you have a person with like a million followers or whatever. A person will automatically think that that person has more value than you. You know what I mean? When that's not always true. You know what I mean? Just because that person is famous and you're not, don't mean that they have a better gift than you. You just didn't have the exposure yet. But you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get there eventually. I'm sure you gonna get there because like I said, I saw your work. You
Right.
know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying though. So like I said, I bought all of the books, the other books, and I have them all in my cell and everything. Everybody want to borrow the books and everything. You know what I mean? And a lot of people read mines, but I got mine sitting there too. I mean, pick what you want. Bring it back. Don't make sure you don't mess the cover up and everything. I see a lot of people just picking up all the other ones, the cartels and the Zanes and all of that stuff, and just leaving the natural G there. You know what I mean? Until one person came in there, he was a big, popular, famous guy, whatever, read my book, told everybody, yo, this is the book right here. That's just how it works, word of mouth. Like, you interview me, you read it, you like it, and you spread the word. Next thing you know, but guess what? If I get famous, you're gonna get famous with me.
That's it. That's what it's
You
all
know,
about. I appreciate it
you
because
coming with me, baby. You know what
I know I appreciate it
I
because the book is interesting, and it's like when you read, like when I'm reading the book, it's like I'm there watching it as it transpires. If that makes sense,
It does.
because
That's what I aim for too.
yeah, because it actually how you have it spread out, you have it broken down with the characters, and it's like
Hmm.
you actually there watching it before your very eyes. That's what I got out of it. Um, the kidnapping, the setups. That's I mean, with the girl setting up the guy, you know, the killing, the drugs, the sex, the violence, and all that stuff does take place in our everyday world, in our everyday culture. And I know we have people like 50 Cent who shows that with the power. I think he doing one. Is it the BMF?
And the Raising
Um,
Cane and all of that stuff. Yeah.
right,
Hmm.
and then we know that stuff has been going on, and it still has been going on, and that would just put me in the mind of. But my question is, when it comes to your book, The Natural G, what do you want your readers to learn from it?
That's a good question. All right. Well, when I came up, we live by certain principles. All right. When I look at the streets today, I see that many of the values that I'm familiar with, they just not there. Like I said earlier, like first and foremost is like how we treat each other. Respect for one another, loyalty amongst your teams, and first and foremost, snitching. These days, snitching has been normalized. All right. I'm not talking about a civilian calling the police on somebody. I'm talking about a person that's in the game. You take care of yourself and your family by the work that you produce in the streets. Your productiveness in the streets depends on how well your family get fed. You are in the game. You know what I mean? Now, if you call the police, that's called snitching. That's totally against the rules. But now it's become normalized. It's a rule to snitch now. It seems people tell it left and right. You know what I mean? But like that's neither here nor there. But like I said, I have no problem with a person that don't, live a life of crime. No, by the way, I'm no longer living a life of crime now. I'm just a regular taxpaying working citizen. But we all have a past though.
Right,
And I'm very
definitely.
familiar with a lot of these things that's been going on back then because I was there, not glorifying it. All I'm saying is that if you can get out the game now, get out while you're ahead. You know what I mean? Don't go through all of the getting shot at, get almost dying and, going back and forth to jail. Don't go through all of that. Just to get out the game, go get a job, man, before you get too many felonies. You know what I'm saying? Because without felonies, you can pick and choose your jobs. You know what I'm saying? But when you get that felony, when you get that F, people that know, if you know, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, um, and but another one is like respect for those who came before you. I think one should value another's knowledge and experience. Let the reins be properly passed down and pay homage. In this microwave society, no one wants to work for anything. They want everything free. Instant gratification. I'm gonna jump off the porch and be an OG right now. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna come up through the ranks. I'm gonna jump off the porch and get the whole pack and just run the whole hood. You know what I mean? That's what they doing these days. That's why kids is killing kids. That's why kids is killing kids because they don't have no respect for the rules. There's rules out here. You can't just jump out there. But all I'm saying is like, I'm just showing the way that we came up. Maybe kids can get an idea of why they find our generation so annoying and we find them so annoying because the rules are completely different now. The rules are not different. The rules are the same. They just choose to ignore the rules these days.
Oh yeah.
All right. The number one rule is listen to your parents. Then maybe you can skip the street. You know what I mean? Go to school,
Hmm.
stay in school, and become a productive citizen.
Right.
You can skip that and skip all these struggles and everything. That's the first rule. But if you don't pay attention to that one, it leads to all other kinds of stuff, like the consequences we spoke about already.
Oh,
Right?
most
I
definitely.
mean, that's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, most
Well,
definitely on what you're saying because you bring up some interesting points that is going on. Like you said, there's no consequences in the generation, which is not. And by trade, I work in a correctional facility, and I've been working in corrections since 2012. From Alabama, still doing the same thing in the state of Texas, and I see how the system is set up for them to keep coming back.
Keep coming back.
They making it comfortable for them now. You have loved ones rewarding them, putting money in their books.
Yeah.
No change behavior. They feel like, man, mom and them, I'm gonna put money in the book. They no matter what I do, they love me. But there's no consequences. You know, I never see nobody want to feel good in jail. No, they got it now where they have pad tablets now, downloading music,
Yeah, that's right.
movies. You know what I'm saying?
I had
Like
one.
they so
I
excited
know.
about that stuff. Like you looking at some serious time, and you excited about a movie, but that's how they get set up like that. And
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
in the state of Alabama, when I'm from, the governor is planning on building more prisons. And you said
Man.
something about the felony. People don't understand, man. When you get them felonies on your record, it's set up for you that way. To keep, cause you gotta realize people got money invested in prison. That's why they set it up that way. And
Yeah.
I hear a lot of young cats when they get put on probation, they end up come right back to jail. Why you ain't go show up? Oh, I didn't have the money, or I had some in my system. That's why I didn't go.
Crazy?
And I
Crazy.
seen cats like that, and they always tell me, and they said, "Man, Jack, I ain't coming back no more." Okay, what you gonna do when you get out of there? You say it now, but the real test come when you hit them street. What you gonna do then?
Mm.
A couple weeks later, right back in the same situation. Oh, I got caught smoking weed. It was in my system, or I didn't show up.
It's crazy.
So I understand exactly what you're saying, and it is real out here. And like you said, with parents now, the parents that we had growing up was about value. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
were hardworking parents that made sure you had everything. They would get on your behind when you got in trouble. But this generation now, they don't see that.
Mm.
Is that's my baby, that's my baby, but no consequences. So I agree
No
on that, exactly what you
consequences.
said. And we
Yeah,
need to hear
yeah,
more of that. We need to hear more men talk about these things. You know what I'm saying? We in a generation now where they're, and I said not knocking out women, but it's time for the men to rise up and be in the right
yeah,
place because God made us to be the the provider. He made us to be the protector. He made us to be the disciplinarian of the family, that structure. And that's what I was talking about. That leads to my next question. I know you were answering earlier about the series.
Mhm.
So when can everyone expect the next series to drop behind the first?
Well, the next part of the series, release date, I think my brother got it for the 17th, December 17th. That's my birthday. So we're gonna do it part two. But it's available for pre-order though. But it's gonna drop on the 17th officially. you
Okay.
know. But back like I don't want to jump backwards, but like what you were saying is like, I'm glad that you like told me that you told the people that you in the correctional field.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you see all of the stuff I'm talking about
Right.
already. And for a fact this is a revolving door. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
it's like it's the way jail is built nowadays. Now that it's like a lot of the stuff that went IPO. These jails are corporations now. You know what
It
I mean?
is.
So they have investors and they have board members and stuff. People like when you get money, the thing to do is to invest in the prison system. All right, because now that this is to me in my mind, it's modern day slavery. All right, because we don't have to pick tobacco and cotton anymore. All we gotta do is go out there and sell some weed, crack, sling a gun, especially in the South.
Oh
Especially
yeah.
in the South.
Oh yeah.
All right. Oh, I mean, really, really, just get caught driving. You know what I mean? In Virginia, you get caught driving, you might do some state time. You know what I mean? So it's like it's yeah. This is definitely a revolving door, man. But so like I said, that leads me into saying again, like I think, like you said, we need to really strengthen our black community back to where it's supposed to be. Like if like me, like I said, I've been through a lot of stuff, so I see things with a different shade. You know what I mean? I see things with a different shade. I can see a child's behavior, his ways and actions, and can tell you what his future going to be probably, because I've been there already. All right. So when I see him, I always try to like grab him by look. Let me talk to you for a minute. You know what I mean? That's our responsibility to do that. Our responsibility is to take the younger generation and put a bug in their ear, man. Pull their collar and put them on to what the reality of their future gonna be if they don't change their ways now. You know, I mean, that's very, very true. That's very serious. And a lot of people don't feel like that it's their responsibility to be raising somebody else's children. Yeah, but guess what? You know, it takes a village. One person cannot raise a child alone. A kid needs the benefit of multiple experiences in order to be properly reared. That's the bottom line to that. All right. They are taking our black men off of these streets. So the kids are being stuck with basically single black mothers, and a lot of them weren't being raised right. So the children not gonna be raised right. You got little boys on Facebook twerking and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's acceptable. It's crazy. I mean, I didn't want to
It
get into the
is.
social political. I didn't want to get
Nah,
into
you
it.
good.
It's
Nah,
a
you
pet
good.
peeve of mine. I didn't want to
You
get into that. But like
good.
it's but the series, the next book gonna drop on December 17th. All right. And I really advise people to get the first one because you're gonna understand the second one better. I mean, it's a good read from what I understand. All five of them are good reads. But my thing is you're gonna see the progress of these people and how the star of my book is my heroine is Raven, all right? She came up in the streets, up under some old school cats who knew how to do it the right way, put her on the right way. So she was properly reared in the game. She became successful in the game. She gave the game up, became a business owner, her and her partner, Lala. You know what I mean? This is just all I'm trying to, it's always, it's a silver lining to everything. If you are guided properly. But when you don't have any guidance, you don't have no direction. Where you going? To jail or dead. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm trying to teach people to be accountable and responsible for the younger generation. When you look at it, other than consequences, that's what the whole series is about. Taking the younger people and bringing them up properly and guiding them. That's what it's all about right there. And it goes from the next one to the next one to the next one. And you see how the ones who was properly guided and had these qualities, respect, loyalty, and yada, 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 the proper rules and everything, how they were successful and how they were able to get out of the game and be successful and never look back.
Right. And
But
and that's some deep stuff. And I'm glad you, like I said, to bring this stuff to the forefront because it's much needed. And like you said, how the young ladies, how they grew up in the game, but eventually changed, they turned their life around to become productive citizens and live a straight, narrow path life. And a lot of people need to see that, instead of ending your life in the streets, in your life in prison. Look at the gangsters of old. I had a book, Original Gangster, by Frank Lucas. That was a good book.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know his intent was to get a private jet, retire, got too deep off into it. Of course, you know the story about that. Nicky Barnes, those. I hear people, a lot of these kids always talking about they gangster, but them guys, the mafia, them guys was well
Gangster.
organized.
Gangster.
They was involved. They had police on their payroll. They had judges on their payroll. They was organized
It's in
with
the
their
book.
stuff.
All of it is in the book. All of that is in the
But
book,
these
man.
kids thinking, man, I'm gangster, I'm sagging this and that. Man, you know you're not. Man, them guys was organized with their stuff. They ran everything. And I like movies
Facts.
like the Goodfellas,
Yeah.
movies like that because that was some deep stuff. Um, when they came to that lifestyle. And I know you had mentioned something earlier about social media, young men, where now we see now that we lost masculinity. We don't see masculine men anymore. It's like men now are become soft. They look to the woman for guidance. Where we look in the Bible, God made woman to be the help me to a husband. But now it's like the roles reversed. Like guys, males look for guidance from a woman. What would you say? What would your comments on that?
You're absolutely right. But this is being systematically done. All right. Not only it's being meticulously systematically done. It's been it's in the whole scheme of things. All right. They are taking the strength out of our community. All right. They're watering us down. Okay. They are making advertisement with men carrying purses and skirts and makeup and all kinds. They doing this purposely. All right. But guess what? We are letting them do it. We giving ourselves to them. You know what I'm saying? We giving ourselves to the system. You know what I mean? These mothers are giving their children to the system. Instead of trying to strengthen their son to be strong, they're looking for a best friend. All right? They're looking for a best friend. Especially these women with these bad attitudes. They don't get along with nobody in the street. Not trying to bash a woman, but they don't get along with nobody, so they try to make their son, because they didn't have a daughter, feminine, so they can, be more relatable to each other. All right? It's nobody else in the house to talk to them. All right? They don't call the police on their man already. You know what I mean? He in jail. Now the boy is at home with the woman, and she need a friend. You know what I mean? She helping him. They call it, like, in some instances, I ain't gonna say that. I was gonna say something crazy. I gotta be careful what I say. I ain't gonna say that. No, but like you said, the reality is it's called the watering down of our culture. And the real culture, like, as far as the streets and everything in my era, our culture derived from hip hop. I mean, real hip hop, like,
right, yeah.
Like, I just saw, like, the verses that y'all watch the verses.
Yes.
The one with this one that just passed, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh yeah.
That's me. All that's me right there. All right. This is where I'm from right there. All right, where it was okay. This is where it was okay for a man to be masculine and still attract attention to the masses. All right. See, a man. Okay, I'm gonna take two different. I'm gonna give you two different examples. You know what I mean? KRS-One. KRS-One has a message. He always had a message. Very, very intelligent brother. I listen to a lot of his stuff, especially like things on in these documentaries. Man, I watch them all the time. But anyway, I forget that. But
on song.
Stuff like that. All right, and then Hidden Colors, things like Hidden Colors.
Yes.
All them things by Tariq, all of that stuff. KRS-One is he's a guest speaker on these things, teaching the people. He's actually one of his nicknames is the teacher. All right, but he don't get the exposure as, say, somebody more like that plays along with the game, the new culture, the new watered down culture of feminizing the black man. He don't get the exposure that person to get, because he don't look and he don't bow down. He don't bend over for that stuff. He don't bow down to that stuff like that. Now, in their day, all right. Now, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, they came up in the same era. All right. He don't look like Big Daddy Kane, so they not socially accepting him like Big Daddy Kane. You know what I mean? Big Daddy Kane go on the Grammys, perform, I get the job done, stuff like that. The music was they was equal. They was equal in the streets back in the day. Am I right or wrong? You have to be accepted to what they call social norms. All right. But look what the new social norms are these days. You got to be probably, I don't have a problem. I'm not a homophobe or anything like that. All right. But you have to automatically not only accept the LGBT,
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't want to misquote or nothing like that. You not only have to accept that, you have to damn near participate in that to blow up in the game, in any game that has to do with the media. You have to, you know what I'm trying to say? Not saying you got to be gay, but you have to be like, well, I'm kind of gay.
Yeah, because it's all about money.
Like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about money. That's what's selling right now. That's who controls the media. All right.
It's all about money.
I don't want to say, like, I don't want to get canceled before I even come out. I don't want to. But we talking about the black children. We talking about the black community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In order for us to mix socially with the rest of the world, we can't be a dominant black force. We have to be soft and watered down in order for us to be able to exist on the same tier as these people. That's just what it is right now.
It is. It is. We got a lot of work to be done. We got a lot of work to do.
A lot.
Getting the homes back in order, especially men. Let men be men, women be women. If you look at it now, some women don't want to be submissive to their man. They feel like my man's holding me back. No, he's not. And that's how the media portray it. They got it, but they try to treat us like men and women are the same, and we're not the same. We built differently. So that's why you got a lot of women now feel like I can do anything a man can do. No, you can't. You're not designed that way. Just like we're not designed to do what a woman do. We're not designed to carry those things that women. They're not designed to carry what we carry. But God has everything in place. But you got the churches pushing that. The churches got weak. I'm just gonna be honest with you. The churches
Mm.
today got weak. They push that you can do this, you can do that, but God had order. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, we have rules, and we all have rules. But people's like, I'm gonna do my thing, do what I want to do, and my thing is a house divided cannot stand. And
And
and I be telling a lot of guys, especially us men, man, get yourself together. You know what I'm saying? Focus on your purpose. Find out who you are. Get yourself established. But now we look to depend on a woman. I hear guys be locked up. Man, my old lady, man, she can't put money in my book. Man, my old lady been down for me since day one. Okay, you gotta think about it, man. She's not gonna be around forever. She may talk to you, may come visit you for a little while. That stuff gonna die. That girl gonna move on with her life, and then you want to get
mm,
mad. She did,
mm,
she that. But you
yeah,
being selfish because you looking at 25 years of life. Want to say, and you expect this girl to hang around forever?
mm,
But that's how the system is set up. That once again, modern day slavery that's taking place in our generation, especially when it comes to our school system, education. Back in the day, education was very important, but
very
now we
important.
don't get that. So, what's your opinion on it when it comes to our education? Because education in the '90s was big. They encouraged you to go to school, go to
Yeah,
college, get this, get that. They were big on you getting out of the hood and going to live a productive life. And because anything in life, you want to be able to come out of the projects. You want to get out
right,
the street. You want to say, you know what, I want to live a better life for my family. 'Cause I'm thinking about my children.
right.
So,
Okay, I'll tell you. All right, so I'm from Brooklyn, so I can relate to that. Now the projects in Brooklyn, it's so much projects, so many projects, so many different projects over there. And shout out to all the projects out there. Not for the fact that they projects, but for the people that's in it. Because
I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask the
right.
same question. I was gonna ask like, you go ahead with your statement, but you go ahead. I want to listen to you first.
Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you, like, when a lot of projects been around since like the 40s and the 50s. All
right.
right. Now the projects was not really meant for us. They wasn't meant for us. They were used for like, see, the term ghetto didn't even come from the black community. All right. Ghettos came from like Jewish communities, poor Jewish communities. All right. Now the projects were built to get them a place to be temporarily housed, so they can get themselves together and progress in life, and then move out. Now they use the projects for what they were supposed to be meant for. They use the projects what they were meant for. Now we use the projects as somewhere to plant our flag at. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I'm talking about, I know people that have been in the projects for 3, 4 generations, man. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? Stay there, the mother die, the daughter take over, that mother die, the daughter take, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what people do, that's what black people do with projects. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And this is what we are taught that should be done in the projects. Look, that's where you belong, that's where you should stay. You know what I'm saying? That's why, and it's more profitable to the system for us to stay in the projects. All right? It's more profitable because we trying to lock your kids up anyway. You know what I mean? We're gonna lock your men up so we can break them down and break their will, because that's what prison is for. Nowadays, that's what prison is for, to break the black man's spirit and their will, to make them dependent, to make them feel like they always need somebody. That's why we're not opening up our own businesses and stuff. Nobody's striving to save money to open business up. We save money to get sneakers, car, watch, cell phone, stuff like that to help out capitalism. We don't save money to help each other open businesses up. We don't do that. But in the 90s, I think that was the end of the programs that was available to help people prosper in life. All
Mm.
right. I used to see a lot of that. My grandmother used to do a lot of work in that. All right. It's like it's over now. It's over now because they're abolishing these. They cancel things that's supposed to help the community out, the struggling community. Everything in my hood, Brownsville, was an all black community. All right. Best Style is the biggest black community in the country. All right. But guess what's happening to it now? Gentrification. All right. White people coming from Connecticut, buying up all of the houses, paying people who paid $60,000 for that house in 1974, $3 million. Who ain't
Wow.
gonna take that?
I
Who
know,
ain't gonna
right?
take that? You know what I mean? So now all the houses, the whole air, Crown Heights, Best Style, all of this, it's like hippies. Hippies live there, white hippies that ride around with skateboards and got ponytails in their hair and raggedy clothes and got $40 million in the bank, but they live in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? So naturally, that's going to push us out. Naturally, that's going to push us out. And then when we come back down here to the South, when we get to the South, we come into the South with a New York state of mind.
Right.
All right. And we do something crazy that's not even a crime in New York. Come down here and do it and get 40 years, 39 years suspended and got time over your head for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Because of the struggle. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm not knocking nobody from the South. I'm just trying to tell you what's going on socially right now. That's what's really happening. But guess what? This is only happening because we're not educated. We're not educating our kids. You know what I'm saying? We're not being responsible for people that's younger than us that need our experience and our knowledge. We're not being responsible for them. We're just letting everything go awry and astray, letting everybody run crazy, letting kids run outside with Pampers on and runny noses and stuff like that. Because it starts there. It starts there. It starts with that little boy with the doodle in his pamper that nobody changing. That's where it starts at. You know what I'm saying? And they get to me, this 47-year-old man with like 13 felonies and shit. Oh, excuse my language.
You good.
I don't have 13 felonies. I'm just saying, like an example.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to my age, you sit here with a bald spot and no teeth in your mouth, sitting in prison.
Yeah.
What are you doing in prison with no teeth in your mouth? With 5 years. You understand what I'm trying to say? I can see if you had a long beard from when you was 20, but you came into jail at 40 years old and you got 5 years and you'll get out when you're 45. You understand what I'm trying to say? That troubles me. That troubles me.
That's why I wanted to ask, by you being from Brooklyn and by we being from the South, and I think people that's from the South, meaning in the area of Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Florida, Tennessee area, things like that, we watch a lot of television, and everybody knows that television mostly films things that go down in New York, specifically Brooklyn.
Here it comes.
And the question I wanted to ask, the generation that you grew up in, if you can compare it to now's generation, what would you take away or what would you put back in?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Nothing.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Be honest.
Let me tell you something. In the black community, let me tell you where the strength is at. The strength is in, look, I'm not trying to sway no way religious or not religious.
Right.
All right? But it seems to be the strength in the black community is the church. All right. We don't have church like we had back in the day. Not these days.
We don't.
I would take these churches away and bring those churches from there, put them here. All right.
Absolutely.
That's what, and I would take the people out of these churches and put them in the churches back then. Wow. All right.
Yes,
with
sir.
grandma, with Miss Dot and Mother Hargrove and them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Oh yeah.
All right. The ones that'll smack you upside the head even though you ain't their kid.
Yeah.
Them. You know what I mean? It's
That's
a difference. Not only the church, you even talk about if you Muslim, the masjids, anything. Everything was different back then. The people were responsible for each other back then. All right. You don't call the police on my kid. You come tell me. You understand? And then me and you will talk. Then if you see my kid doing something, fix it. Right. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. You know what I mean? Yeah. So people will call the police on you in a heartbeat these days.
Wow.
Some things you deserve to go to jail for. Don't get me wrong.
Exactly.
I might not call the police on you unless you like a rapist or you really inappropriately doing something to a child or something like that, or you harming somebody that you really violated. Like I said, violators get violated. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's some things that I can't fix, I'm not just gonna catch no random bodies, no crazy stuff like that. That's just not me. I gotta be honest, it's not me. You know what I mean? But sometimes people really need to be punished. You know what I mean? Like you need to go to jail for that.
Totally agree.
I'm not gonna put you there. I'm not gonna put you there.
Totally
but you need to go to, you shouldn't do what you're doing. You shouldn't be raping no little girls or this sexual deviant stuff they got going on. But guess what? That is accepted these days. They got jails especially for that.
Yeah.
Really? And they're protected.
Absolutely.
All rapists.
Absolutely.
The prison I was in, 75% sex criminals. 75%. I was only there because it was closer to my house and my family was able to visit me. So let's not get it twisted. But the whole prison is sexual offenders. All right. And you better not touch them. You better not touch them. But like where I'm from, New York, when I'm in jail, I've been in jail in New York a few times too. You better not have a sex charge. You better not have a sex charge. You better not hurt no kid. You better not like rob an old lady or do nothing like that. The values were different back then.
No. Okay.
The values were different back then. You know what I mean? That's what I meant on that.
And that's it. And this in a nutshell, this stuff is real on a regular basis. Stuff is really real on what goes on.
Thanks,
and
Kenny.
I said I'll be 40 next April. And
congratulations.
Oh man, appreciate it. And
you
just
made
being
it.
born in 82, the year I was born, to our generation now, it's a bit different. And I think in our generation, not the generation now, but in our generation coming up, we're looking more younger, more useful. Because back then, 40 was looking old, but now 40 looking like it's 20. Because it's like we're not aging.
You just starting.
Yeah, and I understand in our generation we started to eat a lot better too. In our generation, we had you had Dr. Sebi. You know what I'm saying?
Dr.
I know
Sebi,
he died.
Dr. Sebi, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know the government killed him, of course, because he was bringing out a lot of great information to help us out.
He had some cures, yeah.
Yeah, and the foods that we're supposed to eat. You know what I'm saying? Look at the processed food is killing us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You look right now, if you go out, hit the streets right now, McDonald's got a line in the street, Burger King got a line in the street. People don't even cook it no more. You ask the average person right now. I remember one time, it was this young lady. She admitted she don't even know how to cook. So I'm like, man, well, man, get what you're gonna be in trouble. You better learn how to cook. But I'm gonna ask you about that, bringing back those values. Because back in the day when you were going to school, they taught you homemade, they taught you how to sew. I mean, they would teach us all this stuff, but
facts.
We don't even have that stuff no more. So I believe we should bring that stuff back, implement that stuff back in our community, because this generation don't know anything about that. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to sew. They don't know how to get a trade. You know what I'm saying? Big thing was getting a trade.
They got music class and gym though.
But that's the only thing they know about. You know what I'm saying?
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what they want. That's all they want us to know about. Because it don't take much intellect to do either one of those. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those are not things that'll keep a family together. You know, if you're not, unless you're like super good at it. Excuse me. Like you can sing, you can play an instrument, or you can ball. That's what's getting us out of the community. If you're not educated, you know what I mean? It's crazy because like all that stuff we hit on is in the book. Like a female's not knowing how to cook, or females do know how to cook and knowing how to maintain a family, so forth and so on. My book is based on values and consequences. Excuse me, allergic. But yeah, I'm so glad that I was able to express myself, and you asking the right questions to make me be able to express my opinions within the book and outside of the book, because it's important. Because people not only like my product is the book, all right, but my brand is me. It's me. I'm the brand. This is me. This is my ideology. And let me also say who helped bring this to life. My brother, Tremaine Tracy Stevens, one half of Criminal Content Publishing. That's our company. And we hope to bring this to fruition as much as possible and help other people come on board and get their stuff out there too. Because we all got to start somewhere. This guy's my brother's a miracle maker. Hit him up. Exclusive graphics on Instagram, Facebook, or Tremaine Stevens. Everywhere.
Oh yeah, big shouts out to him, because he did the flyer for your interview. It was a surprise that I seen it, like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Awesome work. Big shouts out to him. And another thing I want to ask y'all too. Put me in the mind. You remember the Hughes brothers, the one that made Menace to Society? That was Junior Bro put me in mind of. So I'm gonna ask y'all this. The series will eventually become a movie or a television series, or how y'all going about that?
Well, I sure hope so. We hope so, yeah. We at Criminal Content Promotions. we currently networking to make this a reality. You know, we trying. We doing what we got to do, man. The God, man, he keep getting me these interviews and stuff like. I mean, I never even fathom that I ever be getting interviewed by anybody. You know, it's like, bro, chill. But it's like, my brother ain't got no. You give him something to run with, he gone. That's it.
Yeah, because your brother, he been on it, he been promoting it, tag promoting, hitting
He
up on
on it.
Instagram, he been on it. So big shout out to your brother there. That's good to see
Facts.
brothers
That's
come
my little
together, man,
bro.
support each
That's
other,
my little bro. I love that kid,
um,
man.
create things, and thinking
Love
about
you too,
generations, 'cause I
man.
know y'all want this thing to be in y'all family for generations to come. You
Oh
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Oh
Exactly.
yeah.
And that's a good, beautiful thing about it. So I'm gonna ask y'all this. I know your brother's with you as well. The characters that's in the book, and I'm gonna ask this: what actor and actress would y'all want to play these roles, and why? I know I'm just throwing it out there.
Look, I'm gonna say
Mm.
right. First of all, I can't really say because I see you, Kenny. I got you. I'm gonna keep your mom. We gonna talk. We gonna chop it up. I can't. Well, okay. It's a lot of talent out there. You know what I mean? It's a lot of actors. It's a lot of talent out there, young and old. But you know, for some of my characters, and this is a coming of age tale because you know they start off young and get older. But I would like to see people like Lala Anthony, um, people like Erica Alexander. You know what I mean? People like I want to say Nashiri Norton, but I don't know if you know because a lot of like 50 Cent his work is something like you know, but like these type of people like MC Light, MC Light there. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's this
Hmm.
is these type of people like for that age because you know like this the era the 90s is like the era that you know MC Light, Queen Latifah, all of them. This is their age range. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And she from my neighborhood, so you know what I mean. So she was around this time when this stuff was happening.
Right.
So you know she from my neighborhood. You know, so it'd be good to see her playing one of these roles or like one particular role that I have in mind for her. I mean, but like Lala Anthony would be a good Khadijah to me. I just
He
her
just
she
sticks out. She just like
yeah she or Lisa Ray. Lord, Lisa Ray hit me up like, yo, I want to be, please let her hit me up once. You are invited. Just come. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
in that
I got
generation.
I got pop.
I'm
I got
there,
a pop for
TV.
both of you. I got a pop for both of y'all too. You know what I
Oh,
mean? For one
really?
of my characters. Yeah, I got a pop for both of y'all, man.
All
You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's a large array of characters. You know what I mean? As the
Uh-huh.
book goes, a lot of characters come and go. You know what
Okay
I'm saying?
then.
So
Let me ask
that's what
y'all
I'm
this
saying. That's
too. I
right.
know you got the you know you got the natural G and stuff. No, for some reason I'm into books like Iron Fleming. You know, Iron Fleming created James
Yeah.
Bond.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like you said, you know, the Alice Cross series.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: will you ever create a character like the James Bond, like the Alice Cross? Because it's just like those iconic figures, like
I have
every
one.
man want to be like, but
Hmm.
every woman want to be with type character. So you ever see any
Yeah.
works coming soon as well under y'all
I
publishing?
I have one. I have a character for my next series. It's nothing like this. It's modern day, but it's a guy. He just like this. I'm not even gonna blow it up at all. I'm not gonna tell you nothing about it, but I already have a series about this guy, like a James Bond type of guy, but he black, obviously.
Okay.
Alex Cross, but like you know, from the hood. He's very skilled and gifted what he do. He's intelligent. A lot of technology involved.
Oh
You know,
wow.
I'm talking about intelligent, like computer crime stuff like that. You know, um, seek like I don't know, modern day ghetto spy type stuff.
Okay then,
Is
that's what's up.
different. It's different.